Hey, Steve Zalunardo here with RE/MAX expert Zalunardo Associates Treviso North edition. And just a quick update regarding investment properties. And I had this message back in 2022. Some of our clients listened, some didn't. The ones that listened cashed out, stuck their money in a GIC, and then ultimately still have the money actually sitting in a GIC, making between 3 and 5% securely as the market depreciated. And some of the other clients that kind of held on to it, thinking the market was going to snap back, had paid the punishment from basically probably never going to see those types of values ever again, to be honest, because just the way the economy is going. So what we're advising clients right now, specifically in Simcoe area, you got to remember Honda's got a big attachment to that Agila, New Tecumseh area. There's going to be a big effect on that. If you don't think that Honda plant's going to be moved to the United States, you got to be watching more of the news and the real news, basically. And you got to be watching the cabinet hearings and all the new executive orders being announced by the U.S. Administration, the Trump government. So basically, Indiana right now, they have a really large facility there, and day one, like the first month, they're already talking about expanding it and building a new facility, which they've already started. So what that's going to do, and just that'll basically pull the plant out of Toronto or Allison rather, and stick it in Indiana, which would make more sense. Just remember, numbers don't lie. If you're looking at this as an investment with no emotions attached to it, you got to look at it that way. Honda announced, so they had a little chat regarding that they're not going to remove the plant. Clearly, they don't want to, create chaos so much in advance, but it'll take 2 years to get the plant up and going, basically structurally and starting to produce. So you have like 2 years in order to get these properties kind of sold in that community. Just remember, America buys 40% of all Hondas being built. So that's their largest market. That can basically bankrupt a company. So if you're going to be paying a tariff, and they're not going to let up on the tariffs, if people think these are negotiating tips, it's not. They want manufacturing back in the United States to build back the country, because there's a lot of decimated states and inner cities that have been decimated. Why? Because the workforce or the work has gone outside of the country. So they're bringing it all back, and they're going to stay tight to that. And what that's going to do is remove Honda out of, so 40% of all sales of Hondas are in the United States. So that's 1.4 million cars. And then Canada basically buys about 300,000 cars. So it's not a large market enough to where it makes sense to have the plant in Alliston and then ship the cars in the States and pay a tariff on every vehicle. So what they're going to do is more than likely move it into Indiana. Again, this is speculation, but again, if you're listening to all the executive orders and the investments by all these manufacturing and companies that are just think about it. They've created $7 to $8 trillion in new investment into America. This has never been heard before. That's why we're putting all our eggs in this basket, because of the future growth of the U.S. If you think about it, they're going to just basically put the plant here and then ship the 300,000 cars and pay a tariff, not even a tariff, the end user, the Canadians, are going to be paying the tariff amount. So if it's an additional 25% per vehicle, so do the math. If it's 40,000, I guess that's what, $10,000 that you're going to be paying additionally on top of that vehicle. Maybe they'll take half of that and take less profit on the vehicle, whatever it is. But the end user more than likely will pay for it, and they don't mind because it's a smaller portion of buyers. So that's what's going to happen there. That'll decimate that. And then what we're also telling clients is if you have investment properties so that's one factor. So you got 2 years. The second factor is the election that just took place right now, where we have a it's the original government with a smarter person at the helm that's got the same agenda that'll terrorize the country further. If you don't believe that, I think 10 years can prove that. And if you don't believe me, look what Alberta's already doing, where they're already setting in motion to kind of annex and become either a sovereign nation on their own or join up with the United States. Why? They're scared of the agenda with Mark Carney and the carbon taxes. So again, I don't know too much about it, but I know enough to make a decision. And that's, if he's going to go in hard with the carbon, it's going to just decimate the province of Alberta, basically, because it's an oil-rich province. So what they're going to do, they're under survivorship, and they're going to basically either cut off, which would make sense for them, no hard feelings, but it makes sense for them. They'd have to cut off, become either a sovereign nation on their own or join the United States in order to be viable for the future. Because if in America right now that's pro-energy, they're drilling, the whole goal is to create energy, and we need it for the future with AI. It's not a joke. They say China's built a new coal plant every 2 to 3 weeks, and then we're stagnant here on these old grids. We need to compete with those powers and get that energy up, and that's very important for the survivorship of the West. So again, this is all more technical than we need to get into, but at the same time, if you got investment properties that you need that you have that are just basically single family dwellings, townhouses, like stuff that really doesn't have any more use. Let's say like an upside to it. If it's not a multiplex, like a 2, 3, 4-plex, if it's not even a duplex, doesn't even make sense anymore. Like a triplex, a 4-plex, a small building, something that's cash positive, that's doing well, and you bought it for a good price, then keep it. If you got a piece of property that you can later develop, I would hold on to those two as well, even though we're selling our last piece of property in Canada. That's a development property. Yeah, I would keep those, but if it's something you can replace in 2 to 3 years, sell it now, cash out, get as much money as you can, sit on the market or sit it in a GIC temporarily. This is the best sound advice you're going to get today, and then ultimately buy back it in 2 to 3 years. Because if you think that the prices are going to get higher under this administration, that's more than likely going to create a coalition. I think they're 3 seats away from a majority, and NDP, which is decimated, has 7 seats. Why not throw the last, might as well have some sort of power in the last, segment of their careers as a political party. And then we're going to have this crazy carbon going forward on everything. So that's going to basically impoverish the whole country with this agenda. Clearly, it's been an agenda for the last 10 years. And then what that's going to do is going to bring all the price of the houses back down. And again, this is, like I've been saying for the last 10 years, that this government's going to create a large like Montreal, Quebec style living, which is based off of European living, which is not good for the future of your children. Let's just put it that way. So again, the message: if you got investment properties that are that you can dispose of or get rid of based on like really there's no upside to them, like single family dwellings, townhouses, get them on the market now. We've actually been sending out messages to our clients right now. Let's get them on the market, get it sold. It's May 1st. We might as well start hammering out and get these things get them on the market, get them off, put the cash in your pocket, and ultimately you can sit tight. If you sell something right now for like say $600,000, I'm pretty sure we're going to drop another 20-25% in the next 2 to 3 years. And if you don't think so, again, look at Alberta's action going forward, because they're terrified because they're an energy province, and this is anti-energy that the majority of Canadians voted. But that's the message. Give us a call if you need help. Obviously, we are a full brokerage in Toronto. We got Mike Gaddy at the helm there, and we're going to start loading up properties and getting them sold. So give us a call. We'll be here waiting.